Marco, we're back. Another episode of the Real Life Caddy podcast. Welcome.
Good, thank you. Good to be back.
Episode number 163. It is official.
Is it 63? Wow, if you had asked me, I would have said like 168. I'm way off now. It's been so long since we recorded our last one. I would have been way off.
Well, it's become something of a joke that we don't know what number they are.
Well, they're not numbered on Spotify. I know that. Are they numbered on Apple?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you, but it is 163. I double check. What do we have today?
We have caddy stories. We got to rehash the first tee open.
Oh, yes.
That you were a part of. I was not so much. And
well, you weren't really at all, were you? Well, I guess you were, actually. Yes. You got a wee story about that.
Do I? Oh, I do, yeah. Thanks to you. Yes, I do have a wee story about that. Actually,
we just discussed this 2 minutes ago. But
yeah, hey. I know. Memory is short. I'm a caddy.
A lot of talk about the Ryder Cup as well. One of our listeners was at it, and he sent a kind of a synopsis, which I'll be able to share with everyone, and we can discuss that.
I'll give you a synopsis. It wasn't very good for the US of A.
And then we'll also have some mailbag questions at the end. We better crack on. What you got?
Let's do it. You want me to start?
Yeah. Right. Well, we had the first tee in town.
Yeah. Do we want to bring it all the way back to the first tee? It's been a while since there, but so I always have during the last couple of years, my guy, he got too old to play. And I mean, I'm going to talk about this later. My guy that I had forever. He got too old to play, so he stopped playing. So I stick with the Southwestern Interior group. So they play the whole month. So I was like, all right, I don't have to do this silly tournament anymore, which I, as we talked about, don't really like doing unless, it's financially worth it. So, I'm not doing the tournament, but you call me up and you say, hey man, I got a job for you, practice round. They'll be first off real quick for Steve Alker and his caddy. And Alker if he's not number one, I think he's number 2 this year in the standings. And I was like, oh man, I'd love to, but I got McCoppin at like 11:30. And you're like, well, it's first off 7 o'clock. I mean, you breeze around. And I'm like, all right, sure, sounds good. And you mentioned the pay and it was going to be good. And you know how happy I am to collect a little money. And I was like, sure, first off, let's go twice. And I told McCoppin, I might be a little late. I'll catch you on one or two.
Were you late?
I caught him on 3 actually. But
perfect. 16 whole days.
So you were right about playing quick, but at the first off, playing that quick, you're chasing maintenance. So we numerous times we would have to stop for 15, 20 minutes, and which doesn't bother those guys. It's a practice round. But he wanted to treat his caddy, who had never played the big course. Troy Martin, got to shout him out. He does all the tour books for the senior tour. But, I was really kind of looking forward to, obviously Steve Alker, really good player, one of the best on the Champions Tour.
Very good.
Giving him, little nuggets of knowledge about the big course and, the infinite wisdom of Zabbo over here on the course. And got through the whole round, didn't give one read, didn't give any uphill or downhill. They just did their own thing. And he's so damn good. Every fairway, pretty much every green. He'd hit a green, pull it off, chip a few. I mean, it's just a typical practice round, but super easy for me. A lot of fun to watch how good that guy was. And he I was watching him. I'm like, he didn't really miss a shot, and knew he had a good chance to go out there and win. And he had a really good week. He finished like 3rd or 4th, and he had it close down the stretch. But it was fun to watch him play after caddying for him. That was a lot of fun for me.
He was European Tour, wasn't he? I don't think he did much.
He did on the PGA Tour. Oddly enough, we had a small connection because his caddy on the PGA Tour, he was on there for a couple of years. He didn't really have a lot of success on the PGA Tour. Had his card for a few years. My former roommate caddied for him for a few years on the tour, so we had that connection. But yeah, he did mostly. He won a few times, I think, in Australia, European Tour, and now he's having a lot of success on the Champions Tour. Won the Charles Schwab Cup, I think, a couple of times, and is in good position to do it again this year.
I heard that the Senior Tour is no longer going to have tour school.
That is true. Tim told us that, and that has been confirmed. They will no longer have Q School. The path to the Champions Tour is going to be a little tougher.
Well, there's a lot of a closed shop, I would call it, and there's a lot of animosity from American players towards European players, and non-American, should I say, because Steven Alker, he's from New Zealand, and they're coming in having not done anything
Not
the
paying
PGA
their
Tour.
dues. Yeah, not paying their dues.
So they're kind of seen as not paying their dues, and they're dominating.
Well, I tell you what, at any level, you should want, if you're a golf fan, you should want to see, maybe not if you're an American golf pro, but if you're a golf fan, you want to see the best at whatever level, champions, nationwide or Korn Ferry, PGA Tour. You want to see the best compete on that tour. And if those guys are the best, and clearly Steve Alker is one of the best in the business on the Champions Tour, I want to see that guy play if I'm going to be watching golf.
Yeah. Well, you just have to look at a lot of the names and you go, that makes sense now. Like Soren Keltsen, for example.
Good old Soren, yeah. Never heard of her.
Danish player.
Okay.
Played his whole life on the European Tour. Turns up here, Champions Tour. He got in through tour school, but he's had a wonderful season.
Oh, is he currently playing on tour? Never heard of him.
Well, you don't watch much of the Champions Tour.
That's true. That is true.
Miguel Angel Jimenez, Thomas Bjorn, they've both won. Yeah, they were European Tour their whole careers, and then they're over here.
Really, Jimenez never really played on the PGA Tour?
No, he didn't. No, he was always European Tour. He maybe played 2 or 3 events, so the majors, but no.
I get some of those guys want to play in their homeland, and they made a pretty good living. It wasn't like the PGA Tour, but...
Well, I think up until 15 years ago, European Tour still had about 15, 16 top events where the purse was, okay, it wasn't PGA Tour, but it was good.
It's comparable.
Now, absolute scrap.
It's not as good.
Oh, it's shocking.
Yeah.
Like, so you'll win more in the PGA Tour than the whole purse.
Oh. Like,
we're talking
the 1.5 million they win is more than the whole purse.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's bleak.
Well, that's the whole. That was the plan of the PGA Tour in the first place. By destroying the European Tour, that was a competition.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're not. It's not a feeder tour. Well, the top 15 in the order of merit in the European Tour, the DP World Tour, get PGA Tour cards. How is that not a feeder tour?
Very true. And if you look at the Ryder Cup, you know why those guys are playing for Europe. They're all residents of Florida.
Exactly.
Pretty much every single one. They're not residents of Europe at all.
But you didn't miss the tournament anyway. You didn't miss the free food, the pizza, and number 6.
I did try to sneak in after my practice round, and they asked for credentials, and they were like, I'm like, well, I'm going to register. They're like, no. We know you. We've heard about you. Get out of here.
They have, I'll tell you.
How was the food? Yeah.
No, I never ate any of it, honestly.
Did they have Chipotle?
I feel as if the tournaments, the amount of money going into these things are really cutting back.
You think?
Yes.
Well, cutting back for the caddies anyway.
It just seemed everywhere. Throughout everything was
trimming the
fat.
Trimming. Yeah.
It's not what it was 10 years ago. I feel as if it's sort of crescendoed and then came back.
Yeah,
it peaked.
We'll see what the future holds for that tour. I mean,
I didn't. Well, we did discuss the Tiger Woods thing, and Tim reckoned he'd heard that he was coming out, but after the news of the
the news,
he's not coming
he
back.
had another fusion surgery. I find it hard to believe he's going to be out swinging the golf club at all.
But I don't think if you were a doctor, he's probably been told just give it up. You're done.
I would assume he has, but I don't think he has the quit in him. But we'll see. I mean, time will tell.
I had a dream the other night about Tiger Woods.
I bet you did.
Hitting the ball like a 24 handicap. I don't know how that came up, but he was slapping. It was almost as if he was casting for fish. You know what I mean? Like fly fishing. That was his swing.
And G's over there trying to standing behind him, giving him, no, Tiger, you're not doing it right. You're coming over the top. Yeah.
But no, I don't think he'll be back. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Actually, the whole of the future of golf is really going to be quite interesting over the next few years, because I don't think there seems to be any resolution whatsoever. I did caddy with a guy in the Live who is involved with Live Golf this past week, and he said that a number of the boys' contracts are up at the end of next season.
Oh,
so Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Bryson, those 3 guys in particular. I think there's more, but the first guys, biggest names that came in. So there was Westwood and there was McDowell and those guys who they're on the way out anyway.
Kamer,
they weren't huge big names. The Brooks Koepka, DeChambeau, and Dustin Johnson were the big flagship names. Yeah. Rahm came 2 years after though.
Yeah.
So
he might have a few more
these
years.
contracts are up at the end of 26.
Gotcha.
So that's when I think because if they lose them, if they go back, you then have to wonder what the long term is.
Yeah, the question is, will the PGA Tour accept those guys back? Because you got to figure they're going to try to make that deal before they say, I'm quitting Live, because they might. Because you got to figure Liv's not going to offer him more money, but they may say, if we don't have a place to play on the PGA Tour, I'll just stay on Live if they'll have me for the prize money. The prize money alone is going to be better than the PGA Tour anyways, if they continue.
Yeah, and then a bunch of players on the PGA Tour will want them punished. Oh, they shouldn't just, they took the money, then they shouldn't come back. Although prize money in the PGA Tour is going up as well, the elevated events. So, yeah, next year 2026 will be the year that all golf changes. So
we'll see. We've been waiting for it for a while, and there's certainly been no resolution. So we'll see what comes in the next year. Something's going to happen. I mean, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had a very interesting week with Timmy. Didn't go as well as we had hoped.
Yeah,
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
You got coursed there. It was yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny. The Tuesday and Wednesday of the event, we played at the country club in a Peter Jacobson Jones bag kind of charity thing, which I don't think that's the best way to sort of prepare for a tournament.
Yeah, on courses that you're
not going to be playing on. Yeah. Like one day the previous year we did one day and he shot 63, and that's fine. Then at least you can go to the other courses you're actually going to be playing. Go to Pebble, go to Spyglass.
Greens, yeah.
But what we were doing at the country club, the greens run at what?
14.
14.
It's crazy fast.
So you go from that, and then we did one practice round at Spyglass early morning. Those greens are super fast. And we didn't actually do any practice round at Pebble. Now, what do those greens run at?
10. Yeah.
So that's the big discrepancy. We started off on Friday at Pebble, and he didn't play very well, but he shot 4 under. Right?
Yeah, which can happen at Pebble Beach.
And he duffed a chip kind of on 18, which I thought he'd been chipping really well. I thought, we're 5 under or 67. This is where you want to be. So you're top 10 going into the next day, and then something happened on Saturday, which I don't think it'll ever happen to him again, or has happened in his career. Started in the back 9, and it's kind of foggy. It's cold. The ball's going nowhere. So he has a look for birdie at 10, lips out. Par 5 is 11. Had a good chance. Made par. Okay, solid start. We get to 12, which is a par 3. It's downhill. And this is where I feel sometimes I wouldn't be suited to the pro game of how you read the books and how you talk about numbers. But when we do resort play, we know 13 uphill, it's 150, it's always into the wind, it plays slightly uphill. We're playing at 160 to 165, depending on how strong we are. That's how we work. On these books, you go, what's the front edge, what's the pin, what's the slope, what's that adjusted? I think I'd rather just say, what do you think it's playing? And I just go, well, I think it's playing 169 yards.
Yeah.
Now you can
keep it simple.
Yeah, you don't go 65 or 70. You can actually, with the pros, be a little. So he was in between clubs. He ended up going with the 8. Nuked an 8, which is maximum 168. Lands, maybe a foot short of the green, kind of spins back. But he's got an uphill chip.
Yeah. It's a front pin.
Front pin.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this will be easy. And because the greens run so much faster than Pebble, the bounce is different. It goes 4 feet past. And then it's funny that Timmy in the podcast had said when he putts aggressively, he does really well. Well, what he did was he started trying not to miss.
Yeah.
So he tried not to miss
trying to lag it close to the hole,
and
trying to feed it in. Yeah.
Then in 13, same thing. We're uphill. Gets we're a club short. Chips it up again. Ball runs past. Way 6 feet past compared to probably at Pebble it would have been within a foot.
Then he's straight downhill trying to play defense.
That's it. Bogey, not good. We're on 14. He's 245 out on a par 5. And he goes, I'm going to lay up. I'm like, this is really the mind's changed.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, you just take a hybrid and Even if you're long, who cares?
Yeah, just get it greenside. Although that's a tough one though, because you got all that water looming on the right.
It is, but you're a professional golfer. This is what
I
you
hear
do.
you. I hear
This is
you.
what you do. Back yourself in the market. So he ends up 3-putting that. So you've gone bogey, bogey, bogey. The next hole,
the easiest par 3 in the world. Yeah,
hits in the water because
it's in the water.
Now it's numbers.
Oh, geez.
What's it playing? Well, back at that hole, I was doing this, and it's heavy, and I would rather just say this is what it's playing.
Yeah, hit 128. Yeah,
ends up in the water. So we're now 5 bogeys in a row. Is that right? 12, 13, 14, 4 in a row. Well, you know what? I'm thinking, well, that's it. We're back to level par. Let's forget about it. He bogeys 16, he bogeys 17, he bogeys 18.
I know, he had 8 in a row.
Seven in a row. And he looked at me and goes, listen, mate, listen, dude, I'm just like, I'm trying. I know you're trying, but, And to be honest, he did some really good stuff in the back nine, which was the front, and he said 3 birdies, so you go back and
he shot over. Yeah, exactly.
So it's not the end of the world. But again, 7
deflating. I mean, you have 3 rounds, so you have 1 bad round, and it's pretty much over on that tour when you shoot. What did he shoot? He shot 43 on that 9. I mean, it's kind of over.
I think for most people it would be, but I don't think for him because he's a different type of golfer. Yeah. He's a thoroughbred. He hits the ball like a 35-year-old. He can do things. I think there's a lot of those older pros that they shoot 68 and they go, well, that's as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
Because they don't putt to make putts. They putt to not go 2-3 feet past because they're shaking hands and all.
Mm-hmm.
They'll only put themselves in birdie positions 7 times in a round. Timmy's the kind of guy, he'll put himself in birdie positions 14 times in a round. He plays it. He does normally play aggressively.
Yeah.
It's pretty eclectic. It's an up and down. It's not. I couldn't do it every week. It's brutal.
Yeah.
The emotional roller coaster is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, as I say, for one weekend. But I don't. I think he literally could come in every time and go, I shot 67. He goes like, I really could have been 63 quite comfortably.
Yeah.
But I don't. Have you ever had 7 bogeys in a row?
I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, I don't think so.
That's hard to do.
That's hard to do.
And especially as a pro, and he was just shaking his head. He's just, and really, as a caddy, there is nothing you can do
at that point. Yeah.
And then everything's getting in your head. And now I'll tell you this. I did say to him, I said, if I don't work for you again in this tournament, and I don't work for the amateur that I've had for many years, I'll never work it.
Yeah.
Unless someone comes in, a heavy hitter that's fun.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
We had 2 amateurs on that Saturday who were the worst I've ever seen in a pro-am.
As far as their playing ability?
Yeah. They were wet dumps. They had no personality whatsoever.
How were their caddies? Do you like their caddies?
Yeah, they were all right.
Yeah.
But between them, they finished out 2 holes. Between them.
Oh, geez.
Maybe three.
How was your junior?
I can't remember. Wasn't paying attention to that. But in those events, whenever I work for a pro, I kind of ignore the amateurs. It's all background.
Of course, yeah.
But these guys, on the 13th hole, one of the players hit it out of bounds on the left.
Mm-hmm.
We're walking up the middle of the fairway, just coming off that bad bogey, really bad bogey, and he's like, all right, we've got to get this together here. But what was it? And then we hear this shout from behind. They've dropped a ball, and they're now hitting. They're chopping. And, I won't say what Timmy says, but he's like, what are they doing? Like,
move out of the way.
You're out of bounds. You're in the pocket. Sorry. Yeah.
If you make a 5 for 4, it's not going to matter. And you're not going to make 5 for 4.
And by the way, you're out of bounds. You can't drop a ball like that. So
exactly.
Like, what? So that started getting in his head as well. He's just like, but I honestly, I thought to myself, I said to him, how can those 2 lads be enjoying any of this?
Yeah.
Their golf was abysmal. I'm talking abysmal.
Were they on the corporate ticket?
Yeah, of course they were. Well, it's all corporate now, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
But we went into the Sunday, and I'd said to him, listen, I've got my compulsory bet on him to finish top 10.
Right? We got to pull this together for my DraftKings, bro.
Come on, Timmy. I said, we're out early.
Yeah.
We're playing with we're playing with the junior. Lovely girl, actually. And
so your junior team made the cut?
Yeah, they made the cut. And then we're playing with Rocco Mediate.
Your boy
that likes a cigar. And his junior. So it's a very... I said to Timmy, this is actually will be a nice morning. Because Rocco Mediate's a character. You're playing with 2 kids. They're enjoying it. Great. No pressure. And you know what the weather always gets like on that Sunday. The wind picks up, and typically the field comes back the way it's certainly very few people move forward. And I said
post
to him,
a good number.
Exactly. I said, listen, if you shoot 65, 66, we're going to get top 10.
Yeah. And G will win his bet, and everything will be good.
I'll win some money, I'll win my bet, and everyone's happy. We move on.
Yeah.
Well, he birdies the first, he birdies the second.
I was watching, yeah.
So I'm thinking, here we go.
So was I.
Here we go. Well, then he misses birdies on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, and 18. He had, I think that's 13 or 14, 13 birdie putts inside 15 feet and made 2.
What did he shoot on the final round?
I think it was level par.
Wow. Yeah.
Torture.
It's tough.
I think if he holds the 1 in 4, he holds the 1 in 5, and he holds the 1 in 6.
Yeah,
that's the type of player he is.
Yeah.
It's all mental. He gets a smile on his face and he's moving, and he just
didn't get in the rhythm.
Well, here's the deal as well. This goes back to 2 days at the country club, spyglass practice, spyglass round on the Saturday. He left it in the jaws 4 times, right an inch, half a roll short 4 times.
Yeah, that's tough.
So that's all of a sudden that's 15 spots. So interesting, enjoyable. So hopefully we'll be back next year. He is, who knows, professional golf's like.
Yeah, you never know who's going to be caddying for him.
He might have a new caddy. He might be like, we'll just take him there, whatever. So I'll either be working for him or it'll be a week off. So I'm quite looking forward to it. But
either way, I'm looking forward to it.
It's I'll be honest, it's a lot of fun. It really is. But the one thing I do hate are those books. The number of numbers.
And a lot of those guys live by them. They live by them. But you're right. Like that hole you were talking about, for instance, you get
12.
back there and it's like 173, 153 to the front. But then you look, it's 20 down. So you're looking at 53. Now you're looking at 33, but that prevailing wind is always into you. So you look at 33 and those guys start saying, well, it can't really be more than 40, 45 with the downhill if you go to 33 into the wind. We'll play at 45. But no, if it's 43 to the front and it's 53 actual, it's still playing 55, 60 to the front with that headwind.
Correct.
So that pin is playing like 170 and those guys have 133 in their head. So it's like you can't, especially on courses that you're not familiar with, you got to trust the local. That wind is up there even though you can't feel it, and it plays much, much longer.
Do you know,
than you think.
Even if it was flat calm, I don't think that plays that 20 yards down either.
You're right. It never does. It never does.
You're talking about your boy doing the books. I people always say that to his slope. I say I don't know what the slope is. I wouldn't know where to look in my rangefinder to find the slope.
Yeah,
because it's pointless.
It's just, you've been out there so many times, you know it. You know how far it plays. I know how far it plays every single time. Yeah, we're going to be wrong every now and again, but more often than not, we're going to be really close to exactly what it's playing because we've seen it thousands of times.
And if I remember, now I know he hits the ball differently to Johnny Hack.
Yeah. He's hitting the numbers you say. Johnny Hack hits it 20 yards short of what you say.
Yeah, Joe from Philadelphia. Yeah, okay, it's 150, but it's playing 175 for you.
I'll hit my 9-iron,
but it's downhill. But Timmy hits it. So in that scenario, I go, well, what would I hit? And I would then say,
for sure.
And I thought in that when he was in between the 7 and the 8, I says, well, hit the big 8. If you're short, you're chipping up to.
Absolutely.
He was chipping so well. His short game's really come on. So I thought, no problem. But the difference, and I'll tell you, this is why the pros don't like the Dunhill. They don't like the AT&T. And a lot of the guys don't come out to this tournament is because they don't want to play 2 different courses. They want to play one course for 3 rounds or 4 rounds, and that's it.
Makes prep work a lot easier.
The preparation, the consistency. And I think they could do more to get both the courses running similarly. It's almost as if the 2 greenkeepers
don't communicate.
Are butting heads and trying to outdo the other in a way, I'm going to make my course quicker. Well, you know what? It doesn't really help because
they should try to match them equal. Yes. Make the green speeds equul.
There's an idea, lads. Get together on a month before. Hey, what do you want to run in at? Yeah. One last thing before. Do you know what? I'll put it into the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do. We're going to have a quick break and then we're going to move on to some Mailbag questions and a little bit of banter about the Ryder Cup.
Okay.
4.
Okay, Mike. Recent Ryder Cup. You're a big Ryder Cup fan, aren't you?
Don't watch any of it. Although I watched more this year than I probably ever have in any Ryder Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And oddly enough, I just started watching after it was pretty much over. So, I mean, if you look at the score after the fact, you're like, wow, that was a great Ryder Cup. Really, really close. But the Europeans essentially had it sealed after the first day, really. I mean, and then, but the Americans, I mean, they gave it a shot coming down the stretch. Like, wow, they could actually eke this thing out and win pretty much every match to take the Ryder Cup.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually compelling TV on Sunday, which it wasn't supposed to be. I mean,
what did you think about the criticism of the Americans on the payment getting paid and stuff? That whole
enlighten me. I don't think I really saw much of this.
Oh, so the golfing world was very happy to take the moral high ground and criticize the American players because they wanted paid. And then it transpired that ultimately they were forced to then give the money to charity.
Oh, they didn't like that a bit.
So and then the Europeans are painted as these Samaritans who will play for beat the chest,
pride of the country
for nothing. And I'm thinking, right, every single one of them plays in the PGA Tour.
And they all have appearance fees for the off season when they play in these other tournaments. They're out in India right now, and they all got appearance fees. They're about the money.
Who's anyone to say to anyone else that that's enough? Right, that's your decision. You can have your own opinion about how much someone earns. Ultimately, these guys, both sets of players, have given up 2 weeks of their life, their year, correct? Because you've got one. They were there for one. I got the date wrong. I said to my brother, "Oh, it's the Ryder Cup this weekend." He went, "No, it's next weekend." I went, "No, it's this week." They're already. He says, "No, they're practicing for a week."
Yeah,
doing all the bits and pieces, all the video stuff and whatever. So that's 2 weeks.
Those guys minimum are making 100, 200, 300, 400, sometimes $1 million in those weeks. Like they're making
easy.
I'm just saying, like minimum, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars that they're essentially giving up to play. Yeah, they want to do it for the prestige and playing for their country, but
if you want to play for your country, join the army, right? That's what because this idea that it's for your country and this idea of beating the chest for Europe. What I'm not European. We're not Europe, So that's another thing. But someone told me during that first tee event that Thomas Bjorn,
your boy,
big Tomo, was tried to get McIlroy to play in the Danish Masters, right? Not the Danish Open.
Okay.
And he offered him a little over $1 million to play.
Mm-hmm.
And McIlroy told him, "Your pricing is out of date. I can make that in an afternoon for a corporate thing."
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
No, I'm not coming.
A couple hours, I'll make that in a charity.
Right. So I think the number was $400,000. And again, these numbers are astronomical to the majority of people in the world.
For
right?
Sure.
It's absurd. It doesn't really matter. It's principle. But these guys literally for 2 weeks off. That's two more weeks of golf. That's 2 more weeks away from maybe going to Ibiza, getting mad for it, spending time with your family.
Yeah.
Hanging out, whatever. And so that was but again, it's always context, when the criticism of Scheffler happened at the Open and, he doesn't care about golf and whatever. Well, we never heard the question that was asked.
True.
You only heard the answer and then they jump all over that. So I think the other thing I'd noticed in the first few days was that idiot on the Golf Channel.
Your boy Brandel.
Oh man, he's like,
I didn't even watch any of the Golf Channel. I just watched the coverage.
He was mouthing off about Bryson and questioning the legitimacy of the numbers he gets on YouTube and when does this guy, I don't know, is this how he really feels, or is that the script? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows with him? I'm very much over him. I pay no attention to anything he says.
Idiot, absolute idiot. But I felt as if the course was certainly set up poorly.
It was super easy for him. It was birdie fest. Guys were making 10, 12 birdies around.
I do think the Europeans play more on the DP Tour where you have varying green speeds and varying course conditions. They're probably more into shot. I don't know. It seemed that a really hard setup would have been better for the Americans.
I think you're right. I never. This was the first year I really watched any. I kind of enjoyed it, but at the end of the day, personally, I don't really care. I really don't. It's it's just like what you talked about. Country and what are you really playing for your country? Yeah. These guys really, they seem like they care, but I don't. Yeah. I don't. They might care, but I really don't. I like to watch golf, to watch the competition between the individuals and to see the money they make. Yeah. I enjoy watching $20 million purses, watching guys win $3, $4, $5 million. That to me is more compelling television than the Ryder Cup.
Right, I guess so. And go back to the money. What do you think? The Ryder Cup's not making a fortune?
Merchandise? Are you kidding me?
I went to that Walker Cup at Cypress Point.
Oh,
tell you what, they're not shy in what they're charging.
Mm-hmm.
They want $70 and $80 a hat.
Yeah.
And so Ryder Cup makes an absolute fortune. They're printing money, and what we're coming to just see the course, or we're coming to see the players. So yeah, and what the players then do with the money is up to themselves, right? So
correct.
I enjoyed the Sunday, thought it was fantastic. But our one of our listeners, Sean McLaughlin, Coach Sean, he's from there. And he actually wrote us an email with a bunch of points here from his. So I'll read this out, or try to.
Okay.
My reading's not fantastic, but he says, Bethpage, the soul they took out. Let's be clear, I'm not just a spectator. For 25 years, Bethpage Black hasn't just been a course, it's been my home. I've seen 2 US Opens, I've seen the PGA Championships played on the Black. I know the Black course's DNA as well as anyone. As well as anyone? Come on, Sean.
Might be a little bit of an overreach, but yeah, we'll accept your.
That's the kind of thing Zabbo would say.
I know 95% of it like the back of my hand.
He then continues. He says, and that's why my first impression when I got there on Tuesday for the practice round was a sense of sacrilege. You know the warning sign, the one that says only highly skilled golfers should play.
Legendary sign, yeah.
For the Ryder Cup, they should have changed it to. The Black course is a mildly challenging course that plays 3 or 4 shots easier than your weekend muni.
That's pretty funny.
He says, the rough ? It was shaved down. They took out the teeth of the course. The legend of Bethpage Black
Use your words.
is built on that punitive, ball-eating, ankle-deep rough.
It sure is.
Lightning-fast greens.
Mm-hmm.
By removing it, they didn't just remove the challenge, they removed the course's very soul. It was playing slower and softer than we public golfers get it on a random Tuesday in August. It completely stripped the course of its reputation.
We were just talking about it too. I mean, you want to see birdies, but I think they went a little overboard by saying, let's just make this a birdie fest and have guys given the ability to make, 8, 10, 12 birdies. And guys were doing that. It was just, like you said, it was set up like an easy muni where you could just chip and putt.
I've never seen such good golf, though, from the European team. Wow.
It played solid.
Unbelievable. The putts they were making, the chipping, the shots, they had it dialed in.
And the one that sealed it, your boy Shane Lowry, right?
Yeah. So he moves on. Next part, the recipe for a riot. I knew the crowds were going to be an absolute mob scene. My former college teammate was the commander of the state police detail at the 2019 PGA Championship, and the stories coming out of that event were already of crowds that were borderline out of control. You take the New York hostility, you throw in the international theatre of a Ryder Cup, and you sprinkle in a little modern-day prop betting. You don't have a golf tournament. You have a recipe for a setting more appropriate for an Eagles versus Giants playoff game.
Correct.
American football.
That's the biggest... Are you done with that sentence, or is it going?
I'm just asking. That's
NFL. I mean,
that's NFL.
Yes, that is NFL. That is NFL. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story, a baseball story about New York fans. But anyways, when you put something like that in New York, you're going to get the New Yorkers, and they are a hostile crowd. And this is really was probably the biggest talking point of the whole Ryder Cup is how abusive the fans were towards European players, specifically Rory McIlroy and his wife throwing beers at him.
He does move on to this. Actually, he will.
Okay, you want to keep going?
I'll keep going.
This was a huge issue, and I think it was absurd.
Okay, he says, and the Bethpage faithful, they did not disappoint. When a European player blinks or reacts, the New York crowd sees a challenge and they double down. The more you let it bother you, the worse it gets.
Correct.
That's just the way it's done here. He then goes on and he says, the hypocrite and his true weakness. Oh, I wonder who he's talking about. But my single biggest takeaway from the entire week, the thing that overshadowed the golf and the chaos, is that Rory McIlroy is the sport's biggest whiny-ass hypocrite. He was yelling F off repeatedly at the gallery, challenging them, and then turning around and complaining about the hostility. He clearly doesn't know what a real punch in the face feels like. There were 50,000 fans who would have loved to teach him. And listen, everyone thought he lost it when a beer was splashed near his wife, but trust me, that wasn't the biggest trigger. The real moment, the one that broke him and made him confirm everything with his body language, was when the crowd started yelling about the Amanda Balionis affair rumors.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
You hit him with that personal shot and the whole facade of the professional athlete crumbled. That was a line the crowd crossed, and by his reaction, he all but validated the rumor. What's your take? Did the crowds go too far? Or is that just the price of playing in New York? And that's Sean. So,
what was the reaction with the Balionis thing? I didn't see his reaction after that.
Well, I think that's when he really crumbled. So
he
maybe didn't show it.
Yeah.
I think like even when at the prize giving, he draped the European flag over Bryson's name.
Yeah, I saw that. He is who he is, and I don't think he's a great person, to be honest with you. I mean, you get to that superstar status and that level, and your head gets a little inflated, but, I think he's always kind of had that deep down. He hasn't been a very good person deep down at heart. But the New York fans are absolutely horrendous. They're horrendous, and they're relentless, and they're mean and nasty, and they give true weight to the term ugly American. I'll give you a story from when I was a kid, and I was at a Yankees-Red Sox game in Boston with my uncle. I think my dad had a heart transplant when he was young, so I think he was sick. And my uncle took us to the Yankees-Red Sox game. There was a few New Yorkers in that crowd, and they're coming into a hostile Boston environment. Not that Boston fans are much better than New York fans, but we're a little better, We're not as impolite and rude. So anyways, this New York fan starts throwing, he's behind us, right? And he's got his Yankees cap on, and he's throwing peanuts at the back of my uncle's head. And my uncle turns around, and he goes, hey, man, he goes, you want to stop doing that, please? And the guy's like, no, I don't think I will. And then my uncle, who, by the way, is 6'8" and a prison guard.
Wow. What happened to you?
Stands up. Yeah. Well, he's not related by blood. Anyways, he married my mom's sister, my aunt. So anyways, he stands up and looks at the guy and says, hey, do we have a problem? And the guy stood up, who was maybe 5'7", and looked up at him, and he goes, you want to see what a little guy can do to a big guy? And I just look at him, and my uncle goes, yeah, buddy, I do. And at this point, security came and took him out. But it was the most ridiculous, typical New York thing you could do. The guy wanted to puff out his chest like a New Yorker.
That's brilliant.
And then got dragged away by security. It was
That's brilliant.
Pretty comical. But New York fans in general, they're like that. And I'm sorry if you're a listener and you're from New York, but, own it.
Listen, I'm from the west coast of Scotland. That's what we do. I've been known to take a joke too far.
Yeah.
Push, 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 push. You're looking for a reaction. And I've always had this where, like, someone's shouting, calling Rory, oh, your ma's a whore, or your wife's this. Well, she's not. So why are they saying it? They're either trying to get under your skin, at which point if you react, they win.
100%.
They don't have a clue what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're idiots. So
very common.
They're just idiots. Or it's true.
Could be.
And that's why it hurts.
Yeah.
So
the truth hurts, Rory, you and Amanda.
Typically, nothing would ever get to me. You couldn't offend me because one of the three. You're trying to get under my skin, right? You're clueless, or it's true.
Yeah.
And if it's true, well, that's why it hurts. So, let them say what. And you know what? See if you're focused on the golf, you shouldn't be listening to them.
Yeah, it was an ugly scene, though. It was not a good look for US of A.
Well, I don't know. It's I'm not a big fan.
I'm curious.
I
am curious to see where's the next one. Is it Wentworth?
No, it is a place called Ardare Manor.
That's right.
Well, it's actually,
I'm curious to see how the European fans react to the following Ryder Cup after what we did.
It'll be the usual though. Oh, we're better than them, so we'll be gentlemen.
You think?
We'll 100%. So, but the American players don't wind up the same way that Rory does, or even
true.
Fat Lowry.
That's true.
They're you're kind of asking for it in a way.
Yeah, it was mostly just Larry and Rory, right? It was mostly Rory. I mean,
there was a brilliant one that somebody screamed at Lowry. I can't remember what. You're a Teletubby or something. That was really good stuff. But yes, so there you go. Sean, many thanks for that synopsis. Very tasty. Enjoyed that. And then, as I say, it'll be a dear man in 2 more years. Okay, a couple of questions. This comes from a wee sniffer up in San Francisco.
A wee sniffer?
It's called a wee sniffer. That's
wee sniffer.
Who's a caddy you learned from or admired as a pro?
Who's a caddy you learned for or admired
Well,
as a pro?
Zabbo learned a lot from me. Probably everything he knows he learned from caddying with me. I don't know if we've ever mentioned this before, but there's only 2 caddies I ever really... There was a guy called Jimmy Ferguson at Turnberry. When I grew up, I just loved the way he spoke about putts and explained information and how he carried himself in the golf course. I really liked him. And then there was a guy here years ago, and I kind of quite liked how he spoke to the player. He took complete control of the situation. I learned a lot from that of, well, this is my stage. This is my office. I'm in charge. So, yeah, two people, 2 caddies. Nothing, no one else. And currently, nobody out there that I would like, I want to be like him. Really,
his pride is too strong.
No. Well, is there any caddy you look up to at the resort and you go, I wish I was like him?
Not a one. No, I would say there are a few. I think, I was caddying for 4 years before I came here in 2007. So I've been caddying for a long time. But I think I learned more here caddying than I did anywhere else. Granted, when I started caddying, I was still pretty young, so I was kind of green behind the gills and didn't really know the game that well my first 3 or 4 years, I'd say. But when I got here, I definitely started working with guys that I was like, wow, he's a true professional, and I tried to emulate behaviors that they showed me, that how their interactions with their players, the way they talked to their players, and different players that they had, guys who wanted the jokes, who wanted all the info, who didn't want the info. And I think to a certain extent, you're still learning. Even though I've been here almost 20 years, I'm still learning every day.
You're always learning in the course, learning from working for different people. I could have said this differently. I could have done that differently. I could have, behaved better, or I could have done this or that. But from other caddies, no.
Yeah, certainly learn what not to do from a lot of other caddies.
100%.
Yeah, it's like, wow, look at this guy.
I was talking to a mate of mine who there's this lad that neither of us want to work with, and I'm just like, the information, it's just numbers. This guy doesn't need that. Yeah. He's already hit 7 shots. He's still 250 out.
Yeah, he doesn't need to know adjusted front edge.
Come on. So, yeah, thank you, the wee sniffer. We got one here from Matt, the Chelsea fan. He says, recently started listening to the podcast. Would love your opinion on this. I was recently assigned a loop and a member guest. During the practice round, the guys told me they didn't really want anything from me. Their words were less is more and don't club me. I will read my own putts. I will just call you in for an opinion if I need it. And they also took a cart, so I didn't even carry bags.
Beautiful.
I'll tell you what, this sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
Absolute dream.
What's his issue?
I understand this is a caddie's dream, easy money, but I found it difficult. I am a super competitive person. I love being involved, and I love helping. Standing in the sidelines doesn't suit me. And also, when you're called in for an opinion, you're so detached from exactly what's going on, it's not your best work. What's your thoughts? Just take the money and run, or would you also feel disappointed in that situation?
It's funny. It sounds like Matt is cut from the same cloth I am. I despise that. I'm not a huge fan of it. And I know it is a lot of caddies' dreams, but I'm the same way. I like to be involved. I want to give the information. And I think he's right. You do kind of become detached, and then they call you in on like the one tricky read that they're on a ridge or something, and it could break either way, and they call you in on that one, and it's like, wow, this is the one you're gonna ask me, the one that's almost impossible to make, and you are kind of detached and not really caring at that point because you haven't been reading anything. So I'm kind of with you. I get it, Matt, and I wouldn't say I'd pass on that loop. I'd just go through the motions, collect the money, and say, okay, 2 or 3 days, and then you're done with it.
Yeah, I can agree. I don't ever really become detached from a loop unless the people are incredibly boring.
Yeah, true.
And if they give me nothing, they're going to get nothing. We've talked about phone usage. How many times have I checked the stock market today?
Yeah. How many times has the wife got the text messages from you? Okay,
What's
you're
for dinner?
done. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, part of that is why they even take a caddy.
Correct. Yeah.
A bit of a joke, but I like the taking the cart part. Love that, actually. But you're right. I think that's why I said to you with the corporate jobs and stuff, I'll always take the scorecard.
Yeah, it gives you something to do.
Hey, Bobby, how make up names for them and stuff. And
you want to get involved.
we got an email as well. Yo, G-licious.
G-licious.
Golo Zabbo.
Golo Zabbo. I like it.
Yeah, this is from a Johnny Mother Father. He signed off by cordially Johnny Mother Father.
Got it.
And this is a couple of weeks ago. Great episode this week. Loved hearing about the Colorado trip, and awesome to hear someone was kind enough to get G on at Eric Cartman's personal golf course, Sanctuary. Hey everybody, check out the all-new Sanctuary Golf Club, and the best part is, you can't come. Having played a lot of golf in Colorado, I appreciated G's description of his monster drives, especially his 425-yard bomb to 1.5 feet. Could have been an albatross, Big G, but we can't all be like Zabbo, and Lord knows.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, alluding to your hole-in-ones and your incredible short game. He says Zabbo would definitely have made the putt, given his PGA Tour level short game. So there you go. It is coming back to bite you there. The old Zielovsky.
I was just going to say, is this Zielovsky?
This is not Zielovsky.
Oh, he actually... He
does live up there, but he says... Golf in Colorado is like that. Many people know what the thin air allows many people know that the thin air allows the ball to travel further than its sea level, but fewer people know that Colorado is also home to the world's widest cart paths. It's great to hear that G was able to get the full experience. That's smart golf, Big G. Use the course to your advantage. Absolutely zero idea what that means. Still loving the podcast, guys. Looking forward to the next episode. Are you on 167-243-821? Who can keep track? Keep up the good work. And that, as I say, cordially, Johnny Mother Father.
MFer.
So, Johnny.
So the cart, was the cart path the widest? Did you notice, were the cart paths extra wide or something?
No idea. Buy us a beer. If you go to the website, glorifieddonkey.com, go to the top right, you can buy us a beer.
Support the podcast.
Or go to the Twitter, Glorified Donkey, and you'll follow the link to buy us a beer. We had a guy called Todd. He just says, love that podcast.
Nice.
And then
Shout out to you, Todd.
Eddie Money. He says, watch out for Sasquatch.
E-money. Sasquatch, whatever that means.
Eddie Money. His eye sounds delusional, doesn't he? That sounds ridiculous. Now, a couple of episodes ago, we did talk about Good Boy Golf.
We did.
New clothing sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Do a lot of custom gear for member guests, for boys' trips, or just for yourself. If you check them out, goodboygolf.com. And Justin, who owns the company, is giving us a very kind 20% discount for any of our listeners. The code, Donkey20. Very simple. Donkey20. You'll get 20% off anything on the website. Check them out. They've got a whole bunch of clothing, hats,
and quality stuff. It's good gear, like quality clothing, quality accessories. Look it up.
We're going to actually have Justin on the podcast at some point to talk about how he started the business, why he started the business. And it was quite fascinating. I met him just caddying out here, and I really loved the gear. So shirts are great. The quality. The one thing I noticed, so ever since speaking to him, he talked about the alterations they've made to standard shirts and stuff. So in the Good Boy Golf polo shirts, the collars have a stiffener in them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was watching the Ryder Cup, I couldn't help but notice how the clothing that the European players were wearing, I looked at the collars, I look at everyone's collar now, ever since speaking to Justin.
Yeah.
And they were all rolled up. And I thought, they've only been wearing them for a couple of days. How is that possible? So,
no stiffener.
Yeah, check them out, goodboygolf.com.
Donkey
Zabbo,
20.
Are you working today?
I am not. Day off today.
Day off today? Wow. What are you going to do?
Well, got a doctor's appointment. That's why I took the day off.
Working your short game. Well, anyway, it was good to see you again. It's been ages. Mike and I will be back in 2 weeks' time. Get back. Listen to the previous 162 episodes if you're new to the podcast. Get out there. Share it with your friends. Always looking for new listeners. Thank you for your support. Get out. Enjoy your golf. But more importantly,
keep it humble.